We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
Go ahead. You do it. You do it this time. Go ahead. I dare you.
Hello and welcome to High School Famous.
I regret this already.
The podcast we record weekly for you.
Currently weekly.
I am Sean, your host. I'm half of your host.
You're one entire Sean, but one half of a host.
One half of the full hosting body of this podcast.
Gotcha.
Now, are we splitting ourselves? Are we splitting the host down the middle, or am I like lower half, you're upper half? Am I the front half, you're the back half? What half? Are we
like
doing
a horse,
or a person?
A back? Oh, you're saying okay, split down the middle that way.
Yeah,
okay, that's weird.
Oh, why?
Vertically, but not a cross.
So basically,
cross section versus
it's left half versus right half of a person.
Or front half. Yeah.
Or front and back, or top and bottom.
Right.
Or I don't know if you like to cut your sandwiches diagonally. We can try something like that.
I think it would be hard to cut somebody equally in a diagonal.
Very
slice.
Difficult. Yeah.
Like it's
I
not.
don't think that's even possible to do.
It's not out
all.
of question. Well, no, I'd say it's possible.
If you're only concerned about making the two halves of equal weight, then you could do it. But if you're like, I want to have part of the head be on both halves, I want each half to have an arm. That's not going to be something you could do.
Yeah, you couldn't do a diagonal. You could do like a squiggly.
Sure.
Yeah.
But then what are you even doing then? Why are you messing around with squiggles?
I mean, if you're cutting person in half, what are you even doing then anyway?
And if you can't do a squiggly cut or some sort of fun shape when you're cutting a person in half, then why? I mean, that's the only bit of fun you could have, probably.
Yeah, I mean, if you need to derive pleasure out of cutting someone in half,
well, it's not.
If you're not doing it just for the science behind it, but you actually want to do it for fun as well.
Well, no, I'm just saying make the best out of the given situation. Like, yeah,
right.
I'm really not looking forward to the fact that I'm cutting this person in half, but since I have to. I'm going to
do it. I might as well make a puzzle out of it.
Yeah, jigsaw. Yeah, that's good. Cut some jigsaw piece shapes out of this.
Now, I imagine if you were to actually say you had to cut up a body, you have to get rid of a body for some reason. Right?
Yeah, let's say this body is of no use to you anymore, and you need to.
Yeah. I mean,
it needs to go.
Yeah. And so you decide, I'm going to go ahead and cut this body up in some sort of fashion that it would be very difficult to put back together. I can't imagine that a body would hold up well in a jigsaw fashioned cutting up, as far as trying to put the body back in one piece.
The only way
it get gooey and
you'd have to
you'd have to freeze the body.
Well, even freeze. So here's the problem with that. So because theoretically, unless you get some sort of crazy powered cutting tool, right, where you could easily cut through a frozen body, right?
Yeah, just a bandsaw.
So that's your proposal then, is to freeze the body, then cut it up.
Yep.
So the puzzle piece contours maintain their shape and everything. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
The only way. I've thought this through.
You have. It sounds like it.
Yep. Just now.
This is not your first time tackling this dilemma.
It's not my first rodeo, as they say.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do that, but
you weren't going to do the rodeo.
I wasn't going to say it's not your first rodeo. I said something new and different.
What was it?
Cliche.
What'd you say? New and different.
It's not your first time tackling this dilemma.
That doesn't sound like a fun saying. That's just a.
I'm not trying to make a saying.
That's just a sentence.
I'm not trying to make a saying.
You made a boring sentence.
I'm just trying to avoid common phrases and sayings that everyone says, but you just go right for it.
But common phrases and sayings are fun, Sean, especially when you try to break them down and figure out where they, originated from and stuff.
Yeah, but we're not doing that with this. You're just saying that's not my first rodeo because you couldn't think of anything else to say.
But if I went to a rodeo right now, it would be my first rodeo.
I can now say that if I were to go to a rodeo right now, it would not be my first rodeo.
Oh,
Sean,
you've been to a rodeo?
Rodeo, correct.
How exotic.
It was, you know what? There was.
You should put that on your Tinder profile.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But make it very clear. I don't want it to be misleading in a way where I just say this isn't my first rodeo, because then people will think, oh, he's been at this dating thing he's done the dating app thing for a few times.
This dating app is not my first rodeo.
But
if you are to get if you're going in getting into a bed with a woman, never say this isn't my first rodeo, because that could come off as very insulting.
Sure.
Right.
That's why I say something like,
I've sexed before.
This isn't the first calf I've roped.
Yeah, I think that's also insulting. And then you're also referring to the woman as a child, because a calf would be a young cow.
True, but it's more flattering in the sense that it's a leaner cow.
I mean, I guess it's less insulting than saying you're not my first heifer.
That's worse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
but,
and it would just be weird if you were like, you're not the first human I fucked. That would.
Yeah, I'm sure anyone would say, well, I hope not.
Yeah. Wait, what else have you had sex with? If I'm just not the first human.
If you need to specify that this is,
right.
So, what do you imagine? What do you think goes on at a rodeo? What do you think goes on?
So there's a few different things that happen at rodeos. There is calf roping.
Correct.
There's different types of show pony stuff that happens. Like they do the tricks around barrels and stuff like that. Like they do races around.
I think they did that.
Yeah. There wouldn't be show jumping. I know sometimes there is probably bull riding at certain rodeos. Probably not all rodeos. I'm not exactly sure.
There was some bull riding at this one.
I don't know if they do sheep shearing or anything like that there. That might be just at county fairs or something.
Sheep? No, there wasn't any shearing of sheep in the rodeo circle.
Yeah, speed shearing. But I don't know. Those are three main things I can think of.
They did have a I think this is a semi-famous little monkey ride out on a little was a little baby sheep or a dog, I think. Some kind of smaller animal, not a cow or a horse or a bull. But a monkey came out on riding on another animal, and there was a rodeo clown.
Right.
And the
clown just doing random things or just being a clown.
Coming out announcing things, and then there was a point where he called a couple people out from the audience, volunteers, and there was these two or three girls that came out, and he was challenging them to various sort of gymnastic type moves.
Okay.
Jump and kick both your legs out and touch both your feet while you're in the air. Do
different feats of strength. Yeah,
but the guy was not a guy that appeared to be in any he was not in peak physical condition. He was a hefty clown, but he was able to. Yeah. He did a backflip. There was a couple other impressive moves he did, and he performed the moves better than the girls did. And the girls looked like they were maybe gymnastics type age girls. I don't know if they were in gymnastics, but they were.
What do you say is a gymnastics type age, Sean?
Well, it could be as low as 5, but I'm just saying late elementary, middle school, high school type of age. They all seem like they were in school still, I guess I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know how many people, unless you're pursuing it as a career, go on teens, to continue on with gymnastics beyond high school, unless you're a coach. So yeah, I would say they're all high school age or younger. The 3 or 4 of them. I think it was 3. I can't remember. But
so you say that you said the clown was not in like good physical shape?
No, he didn't appear that to be.
Oddly enough, not a requirement to be a clown.
Not a requirement to be a clown, but you would think...
You'd think a rodeo clown maybe would...
Well, you'd think he'd have to be in better shape to do the moves he was doing.
You're being shapist.
I'm just saying it was surprising.
Is shapist
I'm
a
saying
thing?
It probably is.
I mean, look at somebody like Chris Farley. He did a lot of, he was a very physical comedian. Did a lot of things. I mean, he didn't do backflips and stuff, but
no, he did. He would do plenty of cartwheel.
Yeah, plenty of cartwheel.
Plenty of cartwheel.
Yeah. Yep.
Other than that, I think
same page.
Other than that, his physicality, I think, was limited to crashing into things. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he probably would run. His dance sketch with
the
Swayze. With the Swayze.
With the Swayze.
The Swayze.
Yeah.
Huh? I've never heard of him. Is this a common way to refer to him?
I mean, it should be. It absolutely should be. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to refer to him now, but
right.
Yeah. What's your favorite? I'm going to just put you on the spot straight up. What's your favorite Patrick Swayze movie? Name one.
I would.
And don't say Ghost.
Why not? Why can't I say Ghost? Because the only two I can think of are Ghost and Dirty Dancing.
Oh.
That I know I've seen.
Oh, Roadhouse.
I've never seen Roadhouse.
Oh.
I've never seen Point Break. Well, I thought Ghost and Dirty Dancing are his classics.
These are classic Swayze, Sean.
You're gonna have to try harder than that to persuade me.
All right, new subject. God damn,
see those movies.
You just ruined it. I actually need to look up Patrick
Swayze movies
just to make sure, because there's a million of them I forgot about.
Is this going to be another go down the list and I say I haven't seen them?
No. I'm just trying to. I just wanted to get a list of his movies real quick, just to be like, why can't I think of more than 4? Freaking Red Dawn. Red Dawn, dude. Red Dawn, Youngblood.
Never saw it. Outsiders,
Steel
I've never
Dawn.
seen.
He was in a few. Yeah, he was in a few Dawn movies.
Ideal Time for Shooting.
Next of Kin. Yeah. City of Joy. That's a good one. Oh yeah, To Wong Fu.
I have seen To Wong Fu. Wesley Snipes,
Leguizamo, and Wesley. Yep.
And also Patrick Swayze. The Swayze.
Mm-hmm. The Swayze.
The Swayze, the Snipes, and the Leguizamos. Mm-hmm. I did it to all three.
I mean,
was Julie Newmar in that movie, or was she dead already?
She
is she dead now?
Showed up at the very end of the movie. I don't know if she's dead now either. Just let me look her up quick now before we start claiming things. It does not say she's dead.
Okay.
She's 88.
Around. Is Patrick Swayze in Stand By Me?
No.
Okay. There's some sort of movie box image where it's his face.
Okay.
And I can't remember what the movie title was, and so I thought maybe it was Stand By Me.
No. You were. I mean, it could have been any other movie that he was in. Or must have been. You were looking at the cover of Ghost.
No, I wasn't looking at the cover of Ghost. But anyway, yeah, I've never seen The Outsiders. Isn't he in that?
Yes, The Outsiders. Yep, he was in that. That was his second film.
So I would say I've seen To Wong Fu, I've seen Ghost, and I've seen Dirty Dancing.
Okay.
I'm sure there are other movies that have him in it, at least, that I have seen that I just can't recall.
Possibly. I'm trying to look at... Oh, apparently he was in Donnie Darko. Did you see that?
Yes, I did, actually.
Okay. So he's in that. I don't remember seeing him in that.
I could have easily...
But then again, I watched that movie one time.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that everybody has a hard-on for it, and I watched it once, I'm like, this movie's just... I just can't with that movie.
Well, it's another one where it's hard to tell if had you seen it when it just came out before there was all that hype about it, before it had the cult following. Do you think maybe you would have felt differently? That's like with me that's like me with Big Lebowski, or so many people just raved about that movie, and I watched it finally, and I'm like, okay, I mean, it's all right.
Yeah, And then you'd probably heard like a lot of quotes from it way before you ever watched it, so those quotes wouldn't have the impact that they would have had you not known about them. And like, yeah, that's kind of the problem with people hyping stuff up. It's just like it kind of ruins it. Or you go into it with this huge expectation, and then you're just like, well, it was good, but like what? Like, I don't know. You look like a postal worker right now.
Just because I have a button-up collared shirt on with pockets.
Yeah, and those USPS logos all over it.
Yeah, I have my mail bag, my big
it's not mail. It's not even like the right color shirt. Like it's like a grayish blue, which is like, I don't know. It's an in between postal color because it's like they use blue and they use gray, but it's like a darker blue that they usually have.
Yeah, this is actually a very faint purple color.
Oh, well, this lighting is not doing you any justice.
Well, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I can't change it. It's natural outdoor light. It's sunlight.
Oh, you could change the lighting in there in the room you're in.
I would have to go inside the house and flip the switch to turn these lights on.
Why is the switch for those lights in the house?
Well,
why is there not a light switch?
There is. I mean, I don't want to get up.
But it's like, is it like one of those double switches where it's controlled by in the house or in the room?
Yeah.
But the one has to be on for the switch in there to be operational?
That is a good question.
I bet it's just a double switch. You can probably use it there, or you can do it.
If I turn the switch down right now, it might actually turn the lights on.
I bet you it would.
But and I forget what that's called. It's actually it's a three-way.
Three-way
switch or something like that.
Which is weird because a three-way switch is not at all what like a normal, like what you'd picture a normal three-way to be. Like a three-way switch. Well, like, okay, so if you obviously there's the obvious three-way that everybody thinks of. Three people just going at it. Just going at it.
I'm going to assume everybody just goes there.
Okay, where'd you go?
Well, I was thinking about
went there.
The light switches.
Yeah, but when I said what I said, you went there with me. I know you did.
I mean, I've never gone there. Sometimes I wonder if I would enjoy going there, but I've never gone there.
So a three-way would be your first rodeo.
That would be my first, yes.
Okay. Anyways, a three-way switch is weird though because it's like it's a a two-way switch is just on off. That's a two-way switch. A single switch that goes on and off.
I don't
think
that's called
a three-way switch would be like a four-way switch thing because it's two different switches that go on and off that control the same light. It's not a three-way in any way.
Well, I believe it's called a three-way because you have the whatever it's turning on, like a light, for example, and then the two switches. Those are the three elements.
Okay.
And then, but I don't believe that a single switch is called a two-way.
It's just called a one-way?
I don't know. There's a different name.
It's called a switch.
The only reason I have any knowledge of this at all is when I was trying to find some smart switches to put in. You find ones that are compatible with being with three-way hookups and compatible with just by themselves. So, but I never bought any because
that's another thing. The switch itself is not smart because it's something else that's telling the switch to do what it's going to do.
Well, basically, what this stuff typically means these days is if it has some sort of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth hardware in it, it's smart.
Everything is smart.
Yeah.
So what does that make me? I'm not Wi-Fi or Bluetooth capable.
But you are able to make a connection.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah,
it means a lot to me.
Yeah. So you are smart.
I was almost ready to like pound it, dude.
Nice. I thought you were going somewhere dark with that. I thought you were going to say you were almost ready to throw in the towel.
Wow! Until you
jump
said
off
that.
A bridge.
Until you said that, man, I was.
Go have a three-way.
I mean, I got my shades up right here. I was looking at just diving out this second story window and hurting myself real good. Probably wouldn't die. I could really hurt myself.
Just so you can feel something.
So I could feel, yeah. Yeah, I would connect with the pavement.
Yeah, there's a real connection. You don't really care to make.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, what's happening today? What's new today?
Today, today I stayed home from work because I kind of wasn't feeling great last night. Yeah. Went and took a COVID test today just to be sure, and everything's fine. Came back negative.
That's weird. We both have had those recently.
Yeah.
I was tested on Saturday.
Yeah. I got to go today, get my nose picked by a professional.
8 years of medical school.
Yeah, that's what's got to be kind of weird, right? Is like, you go to all this medical school stuff, then this pandemic hits, and basically like 90% of what you do is just stick a Q-tip up people's noses, like every day.
Yep. Hey, the person
I do every day.
The person I went to had me do it for her, so she didn't even do it.
That's just what is she getting paid for then?
Well, she got paid.
She was getting paid for you to do her job.
She she put the sample in the machine that ran the test on it. So, and
as far as you know,
she hooked up the.
Did she do that in the same room you were in?
Yeah. Yep.
What? The machine was in the room you were in?
It was a minute clinic.
Huh.
So everything was in that tiny little room. So, but she put the blood pressure cuff on me. She used her stethoscope to check my heart and breathing. She used her.
She made you breathe.
Made me breathe by myself, like more than normal. It's not the normal amount of breathing. You have to breathe deep. So it's like I couldn't even do my normal relaxed breathing.
Right.
But she used her other scopes to check my throat and ears. And they look in your ears and down your throat.
They didn't do that for me. It was just a normal COVID test.
Well, it's because
I think you went in for a checkup.
Well, I went in for strep test and COVID test.
Oh, gotcha.
So she also.
Well, yeah, you went in for a strep test and got a COVID test while you were there.
Yeah, because she was like, "Oh, you want one? It's free." Meaning you don't pay anything, but we bill your insurance and we get paid. So she just wanted to tack on another service to get to bill.
Well, what insurance. Does she care?
Yeah, I know.
Does she own the clinic?
I don't know how many clinics work. I don't think so. I think CVS owns them all. But it's probably like, hey,
she has stock in the company.
Your COVID tests are up, 30% from last quarter. You're a good employee, and we're going to keep you on. I don't know.
No.
I don't know if the medical world works that way.
Yeah, $1 for every test that's done.
So yeah, she did do her job. She also had to swab my throat, which is not awesome.
She didn't make you do that?
No. She actually said those are pretty hard to do on yourself. So
depends on what kind of gag reflex you have.
Yeah, mine's awful.
Yeah, so. I mean, if you've been working on your gag reflex like I have for years,
mine's awful. So no 3 ways for me.
I mean, that doesn't rule 3 ways out. It just rules. There's a few things that can't happen. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't. Doesn't mean you can't do a certain thing. It just means you can't do a certain thing all the way down. Right?
I'm nodding.
Yep.
Yeah, your response.
Yeah, that's great for a podcast. And also your screen froze, so I had no idea that's what you were doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Start nodding at me right when I can't see you're moving at all.
When my screen freezes, that's the perfect time to cut it into a puzzle piece.
It's called that's a callback.
Yep.
This episode's just all about callbacks. Talk about rodeos again. Oh, we're gonna call back to like old episodes?
Sure. Nah.
I'm the worst. I'm gonna be the worst at that. Like I remember very little of most of the old episodes.
I would probably just be able to rattle off titles of old episodes.
Yeah, level. I stopped listening to us.
So
I'm not even a listener at this point.
Yeah, if we're
losing listeners.
Yeah, we've lost 2 listeners.
We won't even listen to us. Yeah,
it's us.
I mean, you lost me months ago.
I think I'm still subscribed, so it still registers as a download. I think each week, but I don't think I listened to the last 3 or 4.
I think I'm 7 behind.
Well, what gives?
Maybe more. I used to always listen to podcasts at work, but now with what I do at work, I can't focus on what I'm listening to. So it's pointless to listen to something that I need to like take in.
Gotcha.
So I'll just listen to music because you don't really have to pay super close attention, especially stuff you've heard a million times. So
yeah, and we're at the age where we're not discovering new music; we're just hanging on to
very rarely. Very rarely do I hear something new
in your teens.
Yeah, some would say in high school.
So, what would you say is your skill level in the game of golf?
Oh God, like now?
Sure.
Or ever?
Well, I mean, now.
Now? Oh, God. It's been so long since I played that I'm sure I'd be just terrible at it. My skill level is I guess above mediocre, but below average. And would moderate be lower than average or higher than average?
I feel like moderate is above.
Okay, so sub average.
Sub average. Okay. I went to Top Golf yesterday.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Top Golf?
I'm familiar with the words top and golf.
Okay. So Top Golf it's basically almost like a big driving range, but you have there are targets, and so there are various games you can play where you're trying to hit balls to go into the targets out there, and you wave your club over the sensor, and then it spits a ball out, and so now it knows that when you hit that ball, it's you hitting it, so it can track where your ball. It only gives info on your ball if it comes into contact with a target. If it just goes out the field somewhere and doesn't hit a target, it doesn't know how far you hit it or where it went. It just knows you didn't get any points. But man, I was slicing everything.
Yeah.
Every single shot. When I was taking a full swing with a driver, it was slicing. And there was one target which was over to the right, but I would hit it far, but since I was slicing, it was going past that target.
Gotcha.
So I would have to hit it lighter to try to get any targets in. And there's one game where there's just these 2 yellow targets, and each target has 9 sections. There's a center circle, and then it's a big circle, and then a center circle. So the center circle, as I mentioned, is like a bullseye, and then you have your wedges all around the outside, and those are your 8 sections around the outside of the target. And you have to try to, within 30 shots, you have to try to hit all 9 sections at least once. And I was doing okay with that when I was using a 5-iron, so I was just kind of chipping them, and so I was doing pretty good with that. But anytime I was trying to do a full swing with a driver, they were going to the right. I don't know what to do. I couldn't figure out.
You could possibly a couple of things. One would possibly be to drop your lead foot back slightly,
as in relation to my back foot, or just move my whole body backward.
No, so take just twist your body slightly. So just drop your front leg back, like away from backwards, just to kind of have your stance be a little bit more off. And the other thing is if you twist your club slightly in so that twist your grip so that your club isn't flat, but maybe a little turned in towards the ball, would possibly help that a little bit. And also a lot of slicing has to do with you're taking your eye off your ball too soon. So you got to keep your head down.
I was keeping the head down. I think it was that when I was getting contact, I think I was not following through properly, and I think I was twisting too much, and so it was putting spin on the ball because of that. I think
possibly
it was pretty bad. And so the only time I did okay with the driver was when Leo and I went, and we had about 9 minutes left, and we started a brand new game of this target. Or it was a game where you just hit the ball and you try to get a ball to hit any target, and you have 20 balls, you have 20 shots, and whoever can get the most points, whatever. So he's doing his 20 shots in a row, because sometimes we were alternating. Sometimes he would take like 8 turns in a row, then I would do 8 turns, and sometimes we would do every other. But this was like he did all of his, and then I had about by the time he was done, so we had 9 minutes left. By the time he was done, I had 3 minutes to try to take 20 shots. And part of the thing you're stuck with is how quickly or how slowly, when you wave the club over the sensor, you have to wait for the ball to spit out. And so you can't just go. You're also at the mercy a little bit of the pace of the mechanism. And so I was just trying to hit fast. I wasn't worried about taking full swings or whatever. So I was not taking full swings. I wasn't pulling back all the way, and I wasn't following through all the way. And balls were shooting out straight that time.
Nice.
And I got a lot of points at that last round.
Yeah, you were out of your head at that point. You were probably too into your head on your first so many shots. That's why you were slicing like crazy.
Yeah. But I ran out of time, and so I didn't actually get to see what my final score was, because it just cut you off, and it's like this bay is done, and it's being cleaned up for the next whoever wants to take it. So yeah, it's and there's 4 levels. So you ever see on driving ranges when some people are up on like the third level up or the fourth level up. So when we went there, they said, "Well, we can get you down at the bottom level right away, or if you want to be at like the second or third level, it'll be like an hour and a half wait." So we took the bottom level. It was fun.
Yeah,
I would do it again.
The only thing about those upper levels, they definitely give you a distance advantage because your ball's already so high up off the ground.
Yeah, but that doesn't help that wouldn't help, I would imagine, for any of the closer targets.
Oh, God, no. Yeah, you'd be well over the top of all of them.
Yeah. But it was good. It was fun.
Well, that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I haven't golfed in a long, long time at this point.
I mean, that was my first time trying to do, like, aside from mini golf, trying to hit a ball with a driver, probably since you and I went back.
That's probably the last time I went.
Was it 03 or 04 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Crazy.
That's possibly the last time I ever actually went golfing. And the craziest thing is like I've taken golf lessons. I've owned several different sets of golf clubs over the years, and I worked at a golf course for 4 years, and I still have not golfed very much my entire ever.
Well, it's not a cheap hobby, for one thing.
Right.
So the very first time I ever golfed in my life was where someone knew the person who worked at the pro shop, and so we got everything for free. And I was like, I just had a lot of fun because we had golf carts and we had, we didn't have to pay for anything. I'm like, oh, golfing is awesome. I would love to golf all the time. And then, then the next time I went, we had to pay, and I'm like, oh, this is not a frequent thing for me.
Yeah, certain courses aren't too expensive, but if you want to get super into it, it gets real crazy.
Yeah. But I suppose if you have a membership somewhere, right, at like a country club or something, you probably just have to book your tee time and you just go. So I'm sure it's beneficial financially to do that if you're planning on going regularly.
Yeah.
So,
well,
and once you go through the initial expense of buying your clubs and stuff, and you're past that hump, it's probably not so bad.
But yeah, with me working at a golf course, I got free golf. So all I had to do was set up a tee time. I could golf whenever I wanted to.
Did you have zero interest? Well, you worked there, so was it for you like, I don't want to go back to where I work?
It was just, by the time I was done with work, like a lot of the guys that I worked with would go out and they'd play around, or they'd come back later and play around or whatever. But yeah, I think for me, it was just like, oh, work's over. I'm good. And I'd head out. So the only times I really golfed there were like company, like when we had like company party things that we would do, we'd golf out there and stuff like that, but not much.
You're probably like, work's over and none of my friends play golf, so I'm going to go hang out with them.
Pretty much. You
could have taken us, we would have.
I'm sure golf. Yeah. Like on a slow day or something, we could have gone out there and dicked around.
Yeah. But based on my performance, too late now. Yeah, there's we can't golf now. Based on my performance, I would say my short game is probably way stronger than my long game in the world of golf.
Oh, okay. I was about to say you should probably put that on your Tinder profile too. My short game is much stronger than my long game.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll update that now. I'm updating.
Good. I'm watching you not do anything.
I'm also putting something about a rodeo, and I'm even saying on there that it's a callback.
Unless you're like Stephen Hawking this with your eyes, you're not. I don't know. What did
Stephen Hawking do with his eyes?
No, maybe it wasn't him, but there's somebody who has like text to speech, but it's like with your eye, like they blink the words out.
Is it Morse code?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know who that. I mean, maybe it was him. I don't know, but I don't know. I know he had his it spoke the computer spoke the words he was trying to say, but I don't know how he inputted those words.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I know that's an ability that you can do. You can do it with blinking, and I can't remember who does that or if he had the ability to type stuff out or what he did. I also enjoy the fact that he, a man who had access to any kind of technology in the world that he could have possibly wanted, never updated the voice on that thing.
Well, it's probably something it became just so recognizable,
Right.
right? But yeah, you could easily have updated that.
Yeah, there's so much like he could have just paid somebody to talk for him.
He could have hired a celebrity voice to record, various syllables and consonants and vocal sounds, and it uses AI to create like a natural language model.
Well, and it's like you can get celebrity voices to do like your Google Maps voice and crap like that now. Like, so it's like, yep, you can have anybody do it. So I don't know. It's it's just kind of funny that he just kept that same voice all the years.
If you could have, like, let's say you couldn't speak and you could pick a celebrity to be the representation of what you're saying, like their voice, who would you have?
Interesting. That's tough because immediately I want to go with something ridiculous, right? But that would get super annoying super quickly because I would have to hear that too.
Yeah.
Right. Because originally I was just like thinking like Chris Tucker.
Oh, Chris, what? You went for Chris Tucker?
Because I was thinking of his character in The Fifth Element.
Yeah. Oh, that Chris Tucker too. Not even like vanilla, normal, everyday Chris Tucker. You're talking very out there. Chris
Tucker is vanilla.
Well, yes.
No. Oh God, that's such a good question though. Because I'm also thinking of like just like a character, like somebody's like character. So I'm just thinking even like Eddie Murphy's donkey from Shrek. Like that's what people have to listen to every time I say anything.
Why are you leaning toward? Oh my gosh!
I'm trying to figure out how to annoy my friends.
You want people to not want to talk to you, is what it is.
How about Howie Mandel, but only Bobby's world voice?
Oh gosh, I thought this was going to be like I'd get an actual answer. I would probably say like so tough. I mean, the first guy that came to mind was Patrick Warburton for me.
That would be good.
But then you got like a Morgan Freeman, or you got Will Arnett is pretty big in the voice world.
I'd want to go. I'll go somebody British. Like I'll use Stephen Fry.
Sure. Okay. Then I would do Eric Idle.
Right now, Sean is imagining what Stephen Fry sounds like.
Yeah, I can't think of who Stephen Fry is, but I would do.
You know his voice if you heard it.
I could do John Cleese or Eric Idle.
We were just talking about Stephen Fry on
right. I know, but
or on Saturday night. I know.
Yeah. Is that the guy that gets mad, like the ranting guy?
No, he used to host QI, and he used to be part of Hugh Laurie and Stephen Fry were a comedy duo. Hugh Laurie from the show House.
That doesn't help me. I know. Wait, is Hugh Laurie the main guy? Is he House or whatever?
Hugh Laurie was the guy who played House.
Okay, I know him.
Hugh Laurie and Stephen Fry were a comedy duo back in like the 70s and 80s in England. Why don't you know any of this? Why don't you know your English comedy history,
I don't
Sean?
have the same
we're so just enthralled with Monty Python that you didn't venture out anywhere else.
That kind of is my as far as it goes for British humor. Except for now Taskmaster, which of course, who else who clued me into that? You.
Yeah.
Do you like any American comedians? Is my next question.
Yeah. I like plenty of American comedians.
You're all about the British comedy scene, and that seems to be it.
I enjoy a lot of American comedians, and I enjoy more than just British and American comedians. There's comedians in other parts of the world I also enjoy.
Where, like Kuwait?
Oh, there's like Australia and
Pennsylvania.
I mean, I don't know.
Wasn't there a woman from New Zealand that was on Taskmaster one season?
Yeah.
She had like curly dark hair or whatever. I forget her name.
Yes, and I'm blanking on her name right now, but I was literally watching clips of stuff today. I can't remember her name for the life of me right now. But yes, and there's been Americans on there.
I don't know.
I did watch the new episode.
I was gonna say I don't know if this is something we really need to talk about on here, but I thought the new episode was strong. I thought the series started off strong.
I thought it was pretty good. There were some pretty funny moments there.
It was that, but also I liked just the attitude of this group.
Yeah.
I feel like not so much in the area of coming up with a really clever workaround or that type of thing as so much. I mean, that could happen, but just more the attitude toward what they have to do. I think it's pretty entertaining. We're talking about a British show called Taskmaster, and
we brought it up on the show before.
Yeah,
we've talked about Taskmaster on here before.
I know. Just seek it out on. Well, Every episode could be someone's first episode, Matt.
Oh, so should we talk about everything we've ever talked about before, Sean?
No, but if we happen to touch on something we've already mentioned, don't just assume that everyone listening has already heard it.
Well,
So
we can still make reference. We can still make reference to the fact that we talked about it before, because then they'd be like, "Oh, I want to know more about it. I should go listen to previous episodes."
But the way you're saying it is almost like you don't need to go over this again, Sean. We've already talked about it. Like, stop explaining what Taskmaster is, because Matt and Sean have already mentioned it, so everyone knows what Taskmaster is.
Yeah. If they want to know more, they can go back and listen through our catalog of episodes.
Yeah,
or they can just look it up.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. So it's on YouTube. Find it. It's pretty good. You say it's great.
It's such an undersell.
I immediately follow it.
Yeah,
pretty good.
That's great. It's just we just talk about that we're boasting it, and then we're just like, but it's fun.
Yeah. But our taste in humor is maybe a little left of the conventional. Like, I don't know about you, but you're not going to hear me boasting about how hilarious and awesome Friends is. I don't fall into that category of people have seen, the
Friends,
super duper super mainstream.
Right. You're not going to go all crazy for the Big Bang Theory.
No, and I've seen some
How I Met Your Mother.
I didn't really care for that show either. I've seen some of The Office, but I didn't finish it. I've never seen an episode of Parks and Rec.
I've seen bits and pieces of Parks and Rec. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's a funny show. I've never watched 30 Rock. You always talk about how great 30 Rock is.
Oh, but man, I do love 30 Rock. Basically, if you got what's her face? Tina Fey. If Tina Fey is involved, I'm pretty much on board so far with anything that has her name on it. So
you're a big fan of the movie Mean Girls? That
movie actually is all right.
It is actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's pretty ridiculous movie.
I based on like based on like the marketing for it and who's in it and what it seems to be about at the face value, I probably would never have given that movie a chance.
Right.
But it's a good movie. It's a good movie. But you got Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. That was awesome.
I stopped watching it after like the second season, maybe.
Okay.
They came out if I went any further than that, but
they came out with it's obviously a limited little season, but they came out with like a choose your own adventure season where it'll present you with like something's about to happen. You can choose does this character do this or this, and then there's a different outcome based on what you select.
Interesting.
So you can go back obviously and redo it and change what you picked to see what else happens. And so that was
an undertaking to film.
Yeah,
to film 2 versions of every scene.
That's why it was a limited. I think it was.
I can imagine
6 episodes or something like that. I forget. But yeah. I think now this is not to say that. I mean, Tina Fey has been in some movies that I don't think I've really cared for a movie that she's, I think, just sort of been acted in, but wasn't involved with writing or anything like that. Like I saw, was it Sisters? I think it's called.
No idea.
It's with Amy Poehler and Tina Fey. Like they were like they're sisters, and
I was say were they sisters? As in like they have the same parents.
Yeah,
not as in like of the cloth.
No, they weren't Catholic nuns. But yeah, I think that movie was just sort of okay. I don't know if I ever saw Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, but it just looked all right. I think I did start to watch.
Wasn't there like First Date or something? It was a movie with Steve Carell.
What is that? Yeah.
It was called like First Date or something.
That was Date Night, I think.
Date Night, maybe.
Maybe? That was okay, I think. I saw that movie if I recall. Anyway, yeah, here we are just sort of going over everything. Things that Tina Fey has been.
Well, hey, we did it with the Swayze. We may as well have done it with the Faye. Faye.
Yeah. Well, why didn't you look up? Why didn't you go online and look up her catalog or her IMDb?
Because you were rattling them off. No need.
True. Yeah.
You have the knowledge. You have the Faye databanks in your brain.
There's another show that I think
underneath your postal shirt.
I think there's another show that she's like the producer on now. It's called Girls 5 Eva or something like that. Instead of 4 Eva.
That sounds like a really terrible like girl group. Like girl musical group name that has 5 members. That's
what it is. There were 5 members and
is it?
Yep.
Is it literally based on my bullshit that I just made up?
Yep. They're just like this. They were popular,
That's
I think.
ridiculous.
It's this fake girl group that was popular in like the early 2000s, and there's some new artist had like sampled one of their songs in his song,
right?
And so it sort of created a resurgence in their popularity. So now they're getting back together, but so it's just these middle-aged women being a girl group again.
Why does that always happen? Like, why don't it's like, yeah, we had this was a moment in our lives. It was great. But it's like, no, they always have to have this little like reunion tour.
Yeah, well, there are some groups that just don't stop.
Yeah.
You'll find there'll be a random tour every once in a while that's like Salt-N-Pepa and Boys to Men and that type of 90s R&B type of hip hop stuff.
I'd go see Salt-N-Pepa.
They'd be entertaining, I bet. It'd be entertaining. Nostalgia.
As long as Spinderella's there. If they don't have Spinderella, I ain't going. Spinderella was their DJ.
That makes sense. The spinning.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think all the members are still like they're all involved whenever they do that. Yeah, I don't know. That's funny. I thought you had something for this. I thought you were talking about you started to hint toward the history of phrases or something. And I thought we were going there.
What's funny is like, I purposely like hinted that with not having it set up
okay
to do.
I heard that. I'm like, okay, he's hinting toward doing this thing he mentioned, but I guess not. So you get to hear me rambling on about what things Tina Fey is doing these days
for the last 20 minutes of the episode. Ugh,
very fun. Yeah, probably. It just felt like an hour.
But hey, it got us to Salt-N-Pepa, and that's where we wanted to be.
It did.
It came full circle.
It didn't start with Salt-N-Pepa, so
nope. We gotta come full circle. I gotta get us full circle somehow now. So
you have to circle it back to cutting a body up,
and we just did. Bye.
Bye.
We are on TikTok now, which makes us even cooler. HS Famous. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HS Famous Pod. Email us directly at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. We have Patreon too, but you'll never go there. Altogether, our hearts beat as one.